Hey everybody, how's it going? This is just a ramble video about some stuff I've made that I just finished. I want to show you. One of them being is this little marker here. Now what this is a High Elf breastplate from the High Elf Warrior kit, some rock rubble stuff from Gale Force 9, some Fox, and a square base. Now, if you're going to have extra bits if you do a lot of conversions and kit bashing when you buy the full kit. So instead of having it sit there and go to waste, you can either trade it off or sell it off, or use it to represent stuff. So what I took here is a relatively generalistic High Elf chest plate. Cut it up a bit, make it damaged, look like, like here I clipped here and I clipped down there so it sits like this, and I ran a gash along its stomach area. And then what I did is I put it down the base, put some rocks down the base, then I flocked it, then I put the rocks that are on top of the bottom rocks like this. And then what I did for that is I just put the rocks down and put glue over it, and then the glue will seek its lowest point, therefore attaching to the base and all the rocks. And if you blow on that lightly to give it some encouragement, it'll do that as well. And then it's base painted black, dry brushed Codex gray on everything but the statue and the rock. Those are painted fully gray. Same thing with Fortress gray, painted fully on the breastplate and the rock, and dry brush everywhere else. And then we took Astronomicon gray, and what I did with that is I just dry brushed the rock and the statue. I made it look like a statue. You can also do this leaving it full and making it like a bronze statue if you wanted to, amongst some rubble, or just sitting there. And if you have like little square things, or you make some stuff out of plastic card, like a little pillar out of extra bits, you can have it sit on top normal. You can do a full statue like this and cashing into it a little bit to represent like stone that's breaking apart. Have it stand full height of a model to represent a life-size statue of a High Elven warrior, or whatever you want. Or you could make a bust and just put the head on there and take the chest piece and the head, put that somewhere, represent that either laying on the side like it is here, or on top of a pillar, or just laying on the floor. And you can paint it up in stone colors or in Wraithbone colors if you want to make it look kind of Eldarish, or metallic colors representing like a bronze or a gold statue, and patina it a little bit with some like green wash. But I made it fairly bland and gray like this on purpose so it can pull double duty. It could represent something on a fantasy game, just in like a ruins, or it can use it for 40k and it can represent like an Imperial General statue in his dress uniform with his ornate breastplate and whatnot. So that's this. This is just one way to use those extra bits you have that otherwise collect dust. You don't want to throw them out because that's a waste of money essentially if you just bought stuff for a couple of pieces. That's one example, and you can do this with extra backpacks. You're gonna have, chances are if you play Space Marines, you're gonna have extra Space Marine backpacks, so you can like break it up, or cut off like one of the exhaust ports and lay it next to it with some rubble and paint it up like a statue, so it looks like a broken Space Marine statue or something like that. But so yeah, that's this. I did the sides, just the edging in gray to make it just make it obvious that it's not part of my army. And you can use it as an objective marker, or to represent difficult terrain. I had a cool idea for a gaming scenario where you set up the entire gaming table they're gonna play in to be like the inside of a massive like arena or inside of a massive building complex. So you make it like infantry only or infantry walker only. And you set out to be like the inside of a massive manufactorum or a massive type of building complex. So it's not difficult terrain while inside of it, but then you lay down like stuff like this to represent terrain, to represent like difficult terrain areas and like places you get cover saves in there. So you get like 5+ for like if you have this and other things around it. Obviously, make stuff bigger, like Igon terrain, broken walls or broken pillars laying down. So that would be difficult terrain. You're covered while you're fighting inside this massive building complex. I don't know. I thought it was a pretty cool idea to play in, and just have ideas in my head about that. But you can use this sort of in terrain, difficult terrain, stratagems, maybe like a holy relic. This is like was a bust of like a ancient saint or whatever of the Imperium, or just a objective marker. Another thing I finished, which is why we have this Dark Angels Rhino here, is a vehicle destroyed thing. What we have here is a tea light candle, electronic, with some cotton on it, glued to the base of the candle and to each other, so they stay like billowed out. Then you have to coax the cotton up, and then I spray painted it black in various areas. And what this does is gives a pretty cool effect of it being on fire. It looks like billowing flames. I've seen this done in a few places in the past, and I've always wanted to do it, and I just finally remembered to do it, bought the materials and did it. At least did one. I'm going to make some more. And what's cool is you lay it down here, it looks like an artillery shell, mist billowing up to the fire as it drives by. Or if you have like a refinery type of terrain, or a piece of terrain, you can have like some pipes going underground, make it look like an upheaval, and then sit this in the center of the upheaval. And then you can do that all throughout a refinery type of terrain to make that terrain not only difficult but dangerous terrain, maybe with special rules to represent the fact that you're driving through or walking through an area that's being engulfed in flames. As well, you can use it to represent vehicle destroyed. You sit on top of the vehicle, turn on, sit on top of the vehicle, it'll sit there, and it looks great. I mean, the vehicle, you don't have to do much with the vehicle, other than do that, and it's pretty obvious to everybody involved that the vehicle's in bad shape, aka destroyed. You can set it up in front, like this. You can't really do much on the angular parts with this setup, but you can just put it somewhere, and the vehicle looks pretty destroyed. It gets the idea part, nobody's confused on what's going on. If you have a couple of these, it can really make the battlefield come to life. It just adds a certain narrative element and certain game makes the battlefield pop and come alive. You can also do this on a diorama and like take a snapshot and Photoshop it to make it look like the vehicle's destroyed, or it's driving through an artillery barrage or something like that. But it is flickering. I don't know if you can really tell in the video because it's supposed to flicker like a candle. It's a little bit hard to see in the video because it is a lot brighter in the video than it is in real life. But you can kind of see it flickering. You can get these at like a Target or a Walgreens. They may not always have them, and maybe a little hard to find. You can definitely find them on Amazon. That's where I got mine. And what was cool while I was searching Amazon is they not only had the standard color tea light, they had one, I think one that changed color, which is kind of interesting, but they had others that were like green or red or blues, and they're a little bit harder to find, and purples and stuff like that. But what's cool about that, even the multicolored one, you do the same concept, spray paint it, maybe not black, but maybe purple or blue, and then what you have is like warp fire or psychic fire or some type of chemical fire even. And if this was like a chaos vehicle and this was, purple or blue, you can sit on top and be like, okay, the vehicle's destroyed, but instead of being normal fire, it's warp fire because it's a chaos vehicle and it was demonically possessed or something. And you can also use to represent stuff on the battlefield, like Tzeentch's flickering fire, flickering flame, like engulfing the battlefield, and you have to be careful, special rules for getting in a certain range of it or whatnot. But it's something that can add an element to your army, make your army come alive more, make the battlefield come alive more. And when I saw those other colored tea light candles, I thought that was pretty cool and opened up a possibility to show like chaos fire and chaos destruction on vehicles instead of being normal regular old fire, maybe purple for like 1,000 Suns vehicles, purples and blue fires, and for other vehicles like demonically possessed. Maybe some greens to be like a baleful, noxious type of fire of Virgo or something like that, if you find a green one. So search around, you can do the same concept, just gotta find a green spray paint to spray on it lightly. One thing I would suggest doing is maybe a little bit of black on the base, and then put the green over it, and then just green up. But if you're going to do just a standard one like this, a dark base, and then come up how you want to, however up here, just make sure you have a nice dark base, not to hide the thing, that the tea candle light itself, and to make it look a little bit more like, like fire kind of does when it comes out of something. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Just wanted to show you the two things I finished and talk about how you can use them. So yeah, until next time, I hope you've enjoyed and take it easy.